people who watch kick streams are not going out to vote. Okay, people who watch MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, and ABC, CBS, NBC, those are the people who go out and vote. What are you talking about? So overall, that's what they will see from this. Like the people that actually do go out. And Palladino says the only logical response from the Harris campaign is for her to go on a Hasan stream and receive illegal gifts. Yes, I will give Kamala Harris illegal gifts if she comes on the stream. Don't worry. All the weirdos popped out today. Yeah, I mean, this is I don't even know what I'm selling out to. But overall, we are at, this is the clown show, okay? We are in the clown car, okay? Having the former president who's actively campaigning to be president again going on Adin Ross's stream is clown show, okay? Straight up. I personally think it's clown show. Do I think that this will activate a base of young voters? I don't think so. Do I think that this will activate a base of young voters for like to go out and vote for Donald Trump? I don't think so either. But a lot of people will think that for sure, because a lot of people who are extremely online, people on Twitch, people on Kick, people in this space, people on Twitter, we have a tendency to greatly exaggerate the impact that this kind of stuff has. Because we have horse blinders on, right? So in our minds, like we look at a situation like this and we don't have the proper tools of analyzing it. I think that this will probably get him a lot of like humanizing moments. There were a lot of moments in here where Trump looked like a real human, and that's not like a bad thing necessarily. This will make him look decent for a lot of people on TikTok. People will be like, oh, he's like your older uncle, right? Like because there wasn't so much like immigrants, like 12 million Guatemalans are your daughter or whatever that he normally talks about. He didn't say all that. It was mostly just like him listening to music, stuff like that, right? So I will say that my initial reaction to it is that I don't think that this will end up like showing any sort of significant boost in the polls regardless. Even if it did, it wouldn't show it in the polls. Even if there was genuine momentum from like a youth base of support, especially after like all the TikTok marketing that comes in, I still don't think it would show up in the polls regardless, because like those are people you will never be able to poll. Oh, he did talk about immigrants. I missed it. I only saw like the last hour, I guess. I don't know how long it went, but why should you focus on Trump when other matters? Just what the trend fits. Hey guys, let's forget about what's really going on and focus on Trump. You're doing exactly what mainstream media did when Trump was president. Yo, hey, you, let me explain something to you. Okay. I covered an active genocide going on for the past 10 months, and I haven't stopped covering that. Just because you tuned in today to be like, ooh, now I'm interested in politics, doesn't change that reality. Okay. You weren't in here. I didn't see you shooting. I didn't see you shooting in the gym. Okay. You weren't around. It's like maybe you feel stupid about your renewed interest in politics, but don't try to take that out on me. I'm a political commentator. I talk about politics every goddamn day, whether it's Donald Trump talking to Adin Ross or whether it's some shit you don't give a fuck about. And I haven't stopped covering that for the past 10 years too. So suck my, okay. Having said that, let's get back to the main point of contention here, because a lot of people are probably going to assume, especially in these circles, that like, oh, this is going to get like a lot of momentum for Donald Trump. I don't think so. Mad because you got called out? Crash out, bro. Congrats, bro. Of course it gets hostile. Yeah, because you're being an idiot. Like, if you're being an idiot in the chat, I'm going to bring that energy back to you. Why are you called me a sellout? This just proved my point. Congrats. The point, what is the point? Is the point that you're stupid? Because that's the only point that you proved. All right, take a week off. Oh, you're crashing out. Anyway, weirdo chatters. He uploaded the first 30 minutes. Like, what the heck? Okay, we'll look at the first 30 minutes. I think there was a lot of audio issues or whatever. Anyway, having said that, where was I? As far as like genuine momentum for Donald Trump, I don't think so. Do I think that this is a really good media opportunity for Trump? No, I think that this is like a little bit desperate, But then again, it's significantly better. It's significantly better for him to do this than to go on like what's Buck Sexton's radio show that gets like 600 views on YouTube, right? And he's doing all that too. So he is all around. He is doing a full scale assault in every avenue he can get on, right? For many people, they have no idea who the f is. Even people who follow politics closely don't know who the f is. That is a real political commentator, former CIA agent, who is a right-wing guy. He has a radio show that nobody gives a shit about that Donald Trump went on, you know? People saying you're coping and acting weird as if they didn't open Twitch to join your stream to be weird. Yeah, I know. Also, what do you mean? This is like my Christmas, you know? This is my Super Bowl. This is amazing. So overall, I think that Trumps, are you like Canadian or something? Makes you the most incomprehensible Quebecois sentence known to man, Trumps. Folks, we are going to make it legal to get... That's funny. So like this gives him juice, but not as much juice as you think it does. That's it. You made a lot of kids mad with this. I hope that he deports you to Turkey at the top of replies. Adin Ross committing a possible FEC violation by offering a presidential candidate a Rolex watch worth well over $3,300 max cap for individual donations right before they react together to a PowerPoint slide of Friends of Trump is peak clown show. I mean, bro's hating so hard. It's a gift. Nelk has done it before, gifted him numerous things. What are you talking about? Hard levels of cope here. Anyway, we also have a lot more to talk about as well. But as far as like the Adin Ross stuff, I will watch the rest of this. But as I called it already, who is Adin Ross? Justin Horowitz explains, the popular streamer interviewing Trump who has connections to neo-Nazis. I told you that this would happen. I told you that this would happen from the start. I told you that Adin Ross doesn't understand that like people are going to come after him in an effort to attack Donald Trump. And remember, Adin reacted to that clip where I was like, listen, I'm very excited about this prospect of Adin interviewing Donald Trump because I think it's tremendous content. It's great for me. I love it. I listen to Donald Trump all the time, right? This is a much more unique, dynamic, more interesting environment for him to be in on a kick stream. Having said that, however, I know how the media works, which is why I was saying from the jump that like when he actually does this thing, that mainstream media will come after him. They will use his connections to all these weird people in the shit he's done to attack Donald Trump. That's just how the media works. So that's what I was talking about. And that will probably be played into the weirdo narrative. Like Trump is weird. Why did he go on the stream of a person who like smelled the seat of Andrew Tate? You know what I mean? This is a funny meme from bomb lefts in the community. So, but it doesn't matter what mainstream media says is Trump. What do you mean it doesn't matter? People who watch kick streams are not going out to vote. Okay. People who watch MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, and ABC, CBS, NBC, those are the people who go out and vote. What are you talking about? So overall, that's what they will see from this. Like the people that actually do go out, as you saw online, you probably don't know what I truly believe. And, you know, stick around. Maybe your mind will change. That's number one. Number two, in terms of like, in terms of me being a grifter or whatever, I would just become a right-wing grifter. If I wanted to grift, why wouldn't I just do right-wing? If you're coming in here and you've been baited from clips, then you probably have some right-wing tendencies. You probably think it's, the correct way to think. Think about how much more you'd love me if I was, oh my God, he's malding. What? I don't think you guys understand what malding is. I'm not malding at all. What is happening? What? Okay. Anyway. Let's watch the beginning parts of the interview that I missed, and then we'll go into some other news that are going on around the world.
Today is going to be the most important stream I've ever done, first of all. Wow. And I want to say thank you for doing this, seriously. Thank you. Yeah.
Get some good ratings today.
We're going to get some good ratings.
Market saturation with right-wing grifters, though? No, that's... Dude, they don't have any riz, though. Like, if I'm a grifter and I don't believe what I'm saying, and I can sell an idea that is, like, significantly less popular, you think I can't sell an idea that is, like, you know... the former president of the United States will come on your stream if you say the right things? You're crazy. Anyway, I don't know why people are begging that I should be mad. I'm not.
Everyone thought this was going to be fake today, but we proved them wrong. So.
No, you're right in the living room of Mar-a-Lago. which I don't allow this to be ever done. So you're the first, just about.
Thank you.
And we'll have a little fun today.
Let's
and
do
my
it.
son Baron says hello. He's a great young guy, but he's a big fan of yours.
What's up, Baron? Yeah, Baron's awesome. He's a great kid. Amazing.
That's
He's
crazy.
tall. Very tall.
He's tall, good student.
Yeah, he's very
boy.
smart. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he is.
I do want to first off, say this. Everyone in the chat, everyone in this room, everyone loves you, and I just want to say you're a true hero for this country, and I really appreciate you. And I'm really thrilled we could do this today.
I'm so happy now that I'm doing it. give me a hand. That's great.
Do you know?
Oh, he apparently walked out to Miniman before he got on. Let's watch that part. That's crazy. There's like a RainBet sponsorship like in the corner as Donald Trump is like walking out. Oh, it's so good. Oh my Lord. Legally, Adin has to offer the same amount of time to Kamala. I'm sure it won't be pursued, but it's a funny fact. Yeah, that's not happening. Actually, I don't know how it works for like the internet. I mean, technically for television, you're right, but I don't know if that's no, the chatter is not wrong. Chatter is not wrong. But it's for, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's like applicable in this situation, and it's certainly not applicable for kick streaming regardless. It's fair time was cut out in the late 90s. I think they still apply it though on national television. You mad because you don't interview Donald Trump, 22-month subscriber. What is going on? Why are my fans literally saying that I'm mad? You should know that this is content heaven for me. You should know that. Like every goddamn weekend, I watch Donald Trump speak in front of a rally. Why would I be mad about this? This is amazing. You're probably getting baited. Yeah, I know. It's weird. Crash out for the clip. Yeah, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm so angry. I'm so angry and jealous. I hate this.
You know what live streaming is on these platforms?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
More or less. It's the new wave.
It's the new wave. It's the new wave. I'm going to explain it to you, all right?
Okay.
So I'm going to show you this chat right now. Let me show you this. So this is the live chat. Right. So you already broke the website in 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
you broke it. The chat wasn't working, but we ended up fixing it. It's just very slow.
That's great. It's a good way to promote the website.
So everyone in the chat say hello. You guys can put hi in the chat, and W's mean it's good. W means win.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. So
Good.
they're putting W's and stuff. Yep. W Trump. All right. So yeah, everyone is just super thrilled.
You're gonna have big ratings today. I can see it.
Yeah, I want to break 1 million. I think we could do it.
Oh, good. Oh, you'd do much more.
You think so?
W's, bro.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. Elon actually
W stream,
already,
bro.
He commented on the X post that I went live already.
Well, Elon is a great guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He's really a fantastic person. Little imagination he's got, doesn't he?
yeah.
Rockets and tunnels and
Yeah.
everything. He's a fantastic guy.
He's great. So let's get started today. Let's have some fun.
Let's go.
We'll touch base on some topics, and then we'll do some fun stuff.
Sounds good.
Cool? Let's
Let's
have a
go.
good time. All right, well, the first thing is, the reason why, I really wanted to make this stream happen is because there's a lot of people that are first-time voters watching today.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make it very clear to everybody that you're a human being. You're a great human being. And I want you to basically talk in this camera.
I need you guys to understand, okay?
I have work to do. I'm done. I fixed you. Where are you going? I'm ready, bro. I'm really gonna do this shit. Y'all don't understand, bro. I'm really. And I just want to say, bro.
Yes. Oh my God. According to Zach Boozy, the Adin Ross Real Donald stream was only the 3rd highest peak kick stream of 2024. Overall, it was the 12th highest peak live view stream of the year so far. That is if we believe the kick numbers. Sure, let's believe it. 583K. That's where it's at. Bit of an L, but it's all good. It would have been higher if you didn't leech. You have said way worse things, dumbass. Wait, what? I have. Like what? Adin Ross is like actively told his fans to or slit the throats of their siblings for watching my stream. That's like not even in the top 10 worst that he has said. It's kind of wild for you to think that like me getting clipped out of context to say like, oh, streaming is a difficult job is like reaching that metric. He right though? Shut up, HasanAbi heads. This is another one. Okay, this is a phenomenal one. This is one of my favorite clips of Adin Ross in general. This is, you know, I mean, he's come a very long way from this, from learning what it means to interviewing a proto, like is pretty fire.
What does a fascist mean?
It means you are a far right authorization ultra analyst, political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition. So I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck fascism is. I don't know what the fuck that's.
It's in the New York Times. Adin Ross just presented Trump with a red, white, and blue Tesla Cybertruck that's been decorated in his honor. Make America Great Again is written on the hood, and the image of the former president raising his fist in defiance after the assassination attempt against him is emblazoned on the side. Trump climbed into the electric vehicle's passenger seat, and the two men listened to California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas. Trump's interview with the streamer Adin Ross is now stretched over 70 minutes and shows no sign of flagging. Ross, wearing a MAGA hat, encouraged the more than 500,000 people watching the stream to vote for the former president, prompting Trump to say the endorsement was unusual for an interaction framed as a journalistic interview. I've been doing this for years with people who really do like me, and even they stop short of what you did. I think it's ethical and smart, Trump said. He's like, why won't Brett Baer endorse me? Why? That's crazy. I can't believe that. Bro, Sean Hannity sucks Trump as hard as Adin did. It's not like he's, you know, just because he doesn't openly say you have to vote for him doesn't mean that it's like, you know, that doesn't mean that it's getting the same point across. The video game streamer Adin Ross just gave Trump a gold Rolex watch while interviewing him live at Mar-a-Lago. Ross is known for his extensive watch collection and for surprising fans with gifts of luxury watches. The New York Times trying to do like serious coverage over something that is so categorically unserious is amazing. It's like tripling down or quadrupling down on the content. Unlike the last time, I think the DNC is going to get Obama to come on Kai stream to promote Kamala. Maybe. Oh my God. So much is happening in the world that RFK dumping a dead bear in Central Park and then voluntarily revealing that information for no reason whatsoever didn't even like reach my like I need to cover this story hurdle. Anyway, interview RFK Jr. Yeah, that's a real thing that RFK Jr. did. He talked about it, as a matter of fact. Asked in a live stream interview today about the cause of the recent big declines in global stock markets, Trump appeared to blame immigrants, saying they're coming out of mental institutions and they're pouring into the United States and they're hurting and damaging our country. Many economists point to data that shows slowing growth in the American economy as the reason for the market downturn. Trump is sitting for a live interview right now with Adin Ross, a 23-year-old internet personality and online streamer, during which he will most likely talk about his pitch to young people. According to some polls, Harris has made up ground with younger voters who were reluctant to support Biden before he dropped out. In a post on his social media site about the interview, Trump said that the American dream for young people was dead under the Biden administration. He was my neighbor on Point Doom. I got a cell number, lol. I'm tempted to okay, don't say like that. No, don't do that. Adin Ross, a video game streamer, has drawn controversy in the past for his ties to Andrew Tate, the former kickboxer and influencer who was indicted in Romania on human trafficking charges, accusations Tate denies, as well as to Kanye West. Ross arrived at Mar-a-Lago today in a Tesla Cybertruck decorated with the American flag with a ubiquitous photograph of defiant Trump with his fist raised that was taken moments after the assassination attempt against him in Pennsylvania last month. The Trump campaign is taking advantage of the downturn in global financial markets, pinning the responsibility on his opponent. Trump prosperity or the Kamala crash, Donald Trump wrote in all caps. Adin just posted this pic. Bro, that don't make him look good, man. To be fair, not much does. I will vote for Biden after this awful stream. This part it will live in my mind permanently. Like, no memes. This right here, oh my God, dude. I'm just gonna play this over and over again. I think like his hair flying, His hair flying in the wind. Beautiful, luscious locks. Luscious blonde locks. Why is he in a soy Marvel ass stance? Ah, God, what a world. What a time to be alive, dude. What a time to be alive. Did people forget that? How do people forget when he live streamed explicit porn content to an underage audience? It's not that they forgot. It's that they don't know. Like, that's the point. New York Times and all these other fellas have no idea what Adin Ross is or what his background is or all the shit he's done. But the media will have a field day when they do look into it even a little bit, because right now they are covering the high notes. The high notes are he smelled Andrew Tate's seat. Okay. He doesn't know what a ultranationalist is, ultranatalist is. But beyond that, like they obviously will look into the background a little bit and be like, this is a guy who has had a bunch of on his stream like that. Fairness Doctrine was removed in 1987, not late 90s. The removal of the Fairness Doctrine in 1987 had a significant impact on the media landscape and its relationship to political campaigns, including the enforcement of the Fair Time Rule, also known as the Equal Time Rule. Sleeper agent Adin Ross has been activated by Biden, going to destroy Trump's campaign. No, I don't think that it will. I'll say this much. I don't think that this is going to. I don't think that this is going to impact Donald Trump in like a super significant way, one way or the other. I don't think that, because honestly, at this point, it's just like nothing moves the needle, dude. Come on, the president got shot. Okay, this guy literally named himself Hasan. Jealous much, Hasan? He got the president on stream. You just sitting on your chair. The jealousy could be seen away from miles away, loser. Bro, you made a sock account and you named it Hasan. I am living so deep inside of your brain. And let me tell you, as someone who's in there, I'm slipping and sliding right now. It's smooth as like, that's crazy. You have took time out of your life to do all of this. Please, bro, go outside. I promise you it's better for you. I promise. Like, that's insane, dude. How can you not see that? Anyway, but overall, I mean, that dude is still watching a 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour, by the way, which is, good for me regardless. And you will too, unless you subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. For all the haters out there, if you're like if Kick is your main platform and you're here right now, then you might as well use a Twitch Prime for me, so you can hate better. The moment you make a fake account, you have to realize that something is terribly wrong with your life. Yeah, a lot of people do that though, because they just think it's normal, because they're mostly in Discord servers where actively other people are doing similar things. So they think it's like a normal way to do it. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way. Owen Gila, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour as well. Does X actually like Trump? Quite the arc. I don't know. I don't know if I think it's just content. Like, I don't think he cares about Trump one way or the other. I doubt that he likes Trump. I think he just liked the opportunity to be on stream with Trump. But I don't know. I mean, he's also Canadian. It doesn't really matter. So maybe he likes Trump. Maybe he's a Trump supporter. I don't really care. But let's move on. So let's get back to let's finish this clip, and then we'll get back to the Adin Ross interview.
Benito Mazzulli and Giviante Genitile and Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people, bro? Never heard of my life. What is an example of a fastest? Yo! All right, bro. See what I'm saying, chat? Like, this is why I don't with y'all, bro. Like, dude, like, this is what the fuck, bro. I don't with y'all, bro. I do not with you guys.
Fat Kid for the win. 21. Thank you for the 20 community gift subs. Yeah, he's like, he knows Adolf Hitler, so he's like, yeah, fastest. I love that clip. That's a classic. That's a banger. That's a banger clip. That's a W clip. On God is this. All right, let's keep going.
Talk to them and explain why it's very important as a first-time voter to go out and vote, and why they should vote for you.
I'd love to do that, and I love having a young audience. This is young. I think you have some oldsters too, because I also know some oldsters that are listening and watching. But
oh my God, he's probably talking about Donald Trump Jr., bro. He's probably talking about his son. Oh God. He's talking about Dana White and Donald Trump Jr., which is so sad. DJT, you are a sad man, dude. He probably likes Adin more than he likes you, DJT.
But it's about the American dream. Right now, you don't have the American dream. We have a country that's not respected, a country that's being laughed at, a country that just a little while ago were having a stock market explosion in a negative way as opposed to a positive way.
For the record, this is why you guys can't make fun of me when I have guests on. And one of the things I tell them is speaking to the mic, speaking to the mic, speaking to the mic. You got to have one or the other. You either have a guy like me, okay? What is this? There's so many good highlights from this interview. Trump suggests avoiding Google and interview with gamer Adin Ross. Yeah. You either have to constantly tell them speaking to the mic, or you just have bad audio. One or the other. You know what I'm saying?
And that's been happening for quite a while. It's been simmering and really happening for quite a while. And we're going to make this country so strong and so great. And when you're ready for your job, you're going to get a great job, so you can make the kind of money this guy's making, maybe even more if that's possible. Right?
I'm trying to get like you, boss.
But you'll love your life and you'll be successful. And at a young age, it's really wonderful to think about the American dream. And with Kamala and Joe, I took him out. We had a debate, and the debate didn't go so well for him. And they sort of, what they did, it was really a coup of somebody. He had 14 million votes. He had it. And all of a sudden, they went to him and they said, we don't want you running anymore. And it's sort of like a prize fight from my standpoint. Here, you're focused on this one man, right, and all of a sudden you're fighting somebody else. But she's actually worse than he is. And you're starting to see that. I think people are going to see that it's going to be very evident. So go out. We want the American dream. We're going to give you the American dream, and you're going to be real happy. Thank you.
I have another question. And again, Mr. President, I'm not really fully into politics, but, I'm getting there. And I do want to make this very clear as well.
I'm not fully into politics, but I'm getting there. The man says, as he's interviewing the former president with a Make America Great Again hat. Adin Ross, in many respects, is a perfect representation of like a first-time right-wing voter. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't really know about all this politics stuff, but like, you're kind of funny. I think I don't really know how to read, but hey, I just, I like what I see, sir.
It's on my mind. Back when I was I went to high school in California. Okay. Right. And a lot of the teachers were basically at the time, this is your first term. They were telling me how horrible of a person you are and all these things. And the teachers, you're not supposed to do that. It's inappropriate to have teachers, discuss politics in school. But it's becoming really normal for a lot of teachers, and you're a kid. When you're a kid, your brain is like a sponge.
That's true.
So I want to know what your thoughts on that. Kind of the corruption in the school system in a way. They're teaching some pretty bad stuff in there.
Bro, Adin Ross is a perfect demonstration that like schooling has failed as an institution in its entirety in the United States of America. Because like I said, this barely literate, bro. Barely literate. Like, it's like, yeah, the school failed you, Adin. It's true. You know what I mean? I'm actually shocked. This right here is a child left behind. Okay, right here. Don't make me play the clip again. Oh man, this rocks. He hates it. Trump never wants to die. Such a funny gift to give the guy who wants to live forever. He's a big hunk of metal with a picture of you on it, where you almost got your melon turned to red goo. Now you can think about that moment more than you do. No, I think he doesn't mind thinking about that. I think he thinks that photo is sick. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think that he considers that photo to be like a pretty solid moment. No, that's a child they should have left behind. That's true. The No Child Left Behind policy was a failure for that reason, but like
it's been brainwashed.
No, we already ran this. We already ran this.
Brainwashed. They've learned from a long time. This is long before me. This liberal way, or now they call it progressive. They don't like the term liberal. You're not allowed to use that anymore, so I usually use it. But this liberal way that they have, and it's a bad thing for the country. We want to have borders. We want to have low taxes. We want to have great schools, really, great schools, so you can go and learn and be successful and have a wonderful life and all of that. But we want to have a good military so we can protect ourselves,
of course,
from some bad players. You got some bad players out there. And, it's interesting. During my 4 years, we had no war. We had nothing. Everybody was afraid we're going to have wars.
It might be wallets. Yeah, dude. No, dude. We don't know yet. Okay, everybody calm down. harriswallets.com. Like, calm down. Someone could have bought it. Okay, calm down. We'll get there in a second.
And just the opposite.
We're watching two goats do their thing right now. Okay, how about you How about you liberals? Okay, you just stick to your own game. Okay, we got two goats at their prime yapping. I just tuned in and I'm questioning my life already. This happened so fast. This happened so fast. Like, I just don't know. Like, I didn't celebrate the biggest stream in history. This was not the biggest stream in history. Oh, that's awesome. It's even worse in this angle. No, I think the other angle's worse. Like, I'm sorry. This is objectively not normal. Okay. I don't think people in the Rust Belt that are just like tuning in and seeing what the f is going on are going to read this in a positive way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think that this is like they make fun of Kamala Harris for being cringe and like doing weird dances or like laughing all the time. And then they turn around and do this, which is just so odd to me. Like, I don't, Obama would have done it. Yeah. Except if Obama would have done a similar thing, he wouldn't have done it with a dude who's like most famous for sniffing Andrew Tate's seat. You know what I mean? Who like makes a living shilling crypto gambling casinos to his young audience that he showed porn to one time deliberately. Like, that's an insane thing. Like, Obama, I'm obviously hypercritical of Obama from the policy aspect. I've been very critical of Barack Obama's administration, but like, if there's one thing that he did have, he had aura, he had Riz, he was a genuinely once in a lifetime level charismatic individual. And I've said it before, where Democrats are, you're so mad it's hilarious. Yeah, I'm so mad. I'm the most mad I've ever been. Right wingers genuinely hallucinate. And I don't think there's anything we can do about it as a society where like I can't shake this person's position. Like, it's like worse than being a flat earther at this point. You know what I mean? Because like, I'm enjoying the out of this. It's great content for me, but I'll never be able to get that guy to comprehend and read what he is seeing with his own two eyes, because he's not responding to like the actual shapes and colors on his screen. He's responding to his own hallucinations. You know what I mean? And it's kind of sad. It is a sad state of affairs that like, there is a decent chunk of the population that basically don't care about what the truth is, even if it's something objectively silly, like whether a Twitch streamer is mad or not mad, right? It's just gotten to a point where like people are just actively hallucinating in real time. It's basically like thinking that the iShowSpeed live stream that everybody watched with multiple camera angles where he jumped over to like a Lamborghini and a McLaren was actually fake still. It's like, bro, there are so many camera angles. Like, what the f are you saying? There's like random people filming it on the street. Like, how do you look at that and still go, nah, it's still fake? Like, I get it. It's a genuinely impressive feat of athleticism, but it's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how you're seeing it with your own two eyes. Like, what do you mean? In order to imagine a world in which this is actually like completely in a world, if you want to imagine a world where it's like completely staged, it's so much harder to stage that. You know what I mean? They faked the moon landing. They can fake a car jump, dude. Come on now. Okay, dude. You're right. Came after I watched Charlie Kirk on you, and it's wild how everyone outside of your community thinks you're a joke. Destroyed by Charlie and Ben. That's a self-report, big dog. You watched Charlie Kirk and you thought he was good. Like, I welcome you thinking that I'm a bad person. Anyway, but moving back to the interview. Let's continue.
North Korea.
I gotta go. I'm gonna grab my drink real quick. I need to get my Arizona iced tea, baby.
I remember Barack Obama was telling me, oh, the biggest problem we have is North Korea. I didn't have a problem with North Korea.
No.
Big nuclear presence. I didn't have a problem. The only war we had was already started long ago, and that was ISIS, and I defeated them in a very short amount of time.
I remember.
Very quickly. And we had no wars under the Trump administration, and that's a great thing. You know, that's a really great thing. It was, I think, 82 years since that's happened. And we won't have wars again, but we could have a war before we even get there. That's the problem. We have a number of months. We have 4 months, and the election's starting very soon. And I guess, 5 months before you actually get in. And a lot of damage can be done in 5 months by incompetent people. We have very incompetent people right now. And I'm not saying that out of happiness. I'm saying that out of sadness, because our country's in tremendous danger, not only of stock market crashes or depressions or whatever it may be. It's a tremendous military danger. We have Israel's blowing up, the Middle East is blowing up, Russia's going wild with Ukraine. And things are out of control, and we have nobody that knows how to talk. We have nobody that knows. I was watching when Russia was thinking about going in, and they never would have done it with me. They never, and they didn't. But they never, after I got in, they started loading up the border. I thought he was doing it for negotiation purposes. And Biden said all of the wrong things, everything wrong. And ultimately, they attacked, and they wouldn't have done that if I were president. So we got to get back in and get it straightened out.
Definitely.
We'll get that one worked out.
100%.
A lot of people dying.
Yeah, it's a lot of innocent lives being lost. You know, you had mentioned, you know, the stock market crashing. I don't know if you obviously, I saw the post you made on your app Truth. You know, what I just saw yesterday and the day before, you know, I'm in crypto and I'm in stocks myself. And I couldn't believe what's going on. You know, you have Japan, you have everybody just falling. And I want to ask you, you know, how do we basically get it back up and flowing and back up and running? And, you know, and what's causing this?
Well, right now you have no confidence. You have somebody that now is taking over from Biden because he just wants to stay in bed all day. He can't get up. He wants to stay in bed. He would know it was a fraud. They tried to tell people he was competent. He knew what he was doing. And in the
By the way, for the record, I think that like Donald Trump appearing on this Adin Ross stream, not getting a lot of views, is not necessarily just because like Kick as a platform is not exactly popular, or Adin Ross doesn't have the same level of popularity, or Donald Trump doesn't have the same popularity he once had. I don't think it's all those factors. Those factors might play somewhat of a role, but in comparison to you know the Drew Kai Cenat, in comparison to like the Drewski Kai Cenat Kevin Hart stream getting like 700K. Versus this, which had, I think at this point it had like 400K. And then at its peak, I think it reached like 500K. The reason why it had less than those other streams is because people don't for politics like that at the end of the day. I think that the ceiling for politics is much lower. The ceiling for politics is much lower than like the ceiling for celebrities. It's just the truth. This was only good for the novelty of it. It's not real content. The existence of a stream itself is the content. Yeah, I agree. Stop spreading misinformation. The stream got more than 1 million views. You are just lying. Sure. Okay, man.
debate, he was adjudged to be not so good.
Yeah.
But you can go back.
I like that. That's the most like. This is a bit like this kind of proves the point that I was making early on, that like this won't have the same motion that you think it will, because like a lot of people's only care for this is that their goat Adin is back and they're like and the view counts are really high. Like they don't necessarily care about like any of the politics of it. And I, as a political commentator trying to have a conversation about the politics of it, they're like, don't talk about that. Let's talk about how you're actually undermining Adin's view count or some those ain't voting, okay? They're not going to go out because they probably aren't even eligible to vote. Let's be real. like what are we doing? You know what I mean? They're like, they're in here to be like, no, I'm going to fight in the trenches. Like, don't talk about the politics aspect. Who gives a shit about that?
4 years too. You know, he campaigned from his basement. He didn't campaign. I said, where is this guy during COVID? They used COVID as an excuse not to let him talk.
Yeah.
The whole thing was a fraud, and everybody knew it, and they knew it strongly. And we're going to get it going again. We have to get it going again. It's they put us in a very bad position. The worst thing.
I think that's Felix right there. That's XQC right there fixing the mic.
Probably, I think, Adin, 20 million people came into our country with open borders, and many come from prisons. And you can be a liberal, and your people can be, but coming from some of the meanest prisons all over the world, not just South America, from all over the world, from the Congo and Africa, they come from all over the world. They're coming, and they're releasing their prisoners into the United States. Now, you can be a liberal guy, you can be progressive as anybody in the world, and you can't think that's a positive thing. No. They're coming out of mental institutions. They're pouring into the United States, and they're hurting and damaging our country, and they're killing our people, And the crime rate with what you're talking about and what we're talking about, we call it migrant crime. It's a new form of crime, and it's a very violent crime. And it's going to take on proportions the likes of which this country has never seen before. And remember, these people are just getting accustomed. These are people coming out of mental institutions, prisons and jails, and many terrorists. We're having record numbers of terrorists coming in. So I'm talking, I assume, mostly to a young audience, but a young audience, no matter where they're coming from, they can't be happy about this.
No, they can't. Jobs are being taken. A lot of crime. Fix that issue. What if you know, I have...
Fuck you know about a job, bro? What the... Jobs are being taken. Oh, man, this is good.
And I want to come the right way. How would that work?
Well, that's what we want. We want people to come in, but they have to come in through a system, through a legal system. And, you know, one of the things that's unfair is we have hundreds of thousands of people that have applied to come in, and this administration doesn't talk to them.
Right.
But if they walk through the southern border, they have no problem getting in. I don't even know why they're doing this, but some people are waiting 10 years to come in, and they've studied, they learned all about the United States, about our Constitution, about everything, and they're not being let in, and we're allowing people to come in from really rough places, really bad places, and they come in through caravans, and you know these caravans have 10, 20, 30,000 people. And they're pouring through Mexico.
That's crazy.
And Mexico was great when I was there. They were helping us. I had stay in Mexico. You can imagine what that is. That means you have to stay in Mexico. You can't come into this country until we approve you. They gave it up.
Bro.
The average person, let's just say the annual salary is like 100 racks.
Okay, let's just say this. A lot of money in the world will never get the chance to buy a Bugatti.
Right.
100%.
You're right. I know.
That's all I was saying.
Oh.
No, I wasn't like going into shit. I was just rebutting off what the police said.
I thought you were going to go into it.
No, I wasn't going into nothing.
Oh, okay.
No, what were you saying though? You were saying some good stuff.
Okay, so the average salary is what, like $100,000?
Wait,
What?
no, you
What's-
can't
Did you
do
just
that.
hear this one?
What's the average salary?
Bro, probably like what, 20, 30K, bro?
No way.
Bro,
Shut the fuck up.
are you crazy?
It's 60K. It's damn. Ahmad clapped the person.
What's the average salary of a human?
No, the average salary, the annual average salary in the United States currently is 63. The median is lower. Obviously, it's like, and that's for I think that is there's also household for the record. So half that. We're talking annual, which I don't even think he was talking about household. Guys, there's a lot of inflation. Median is lower, take home is lower, half that if you want to know the individual salary as well. If we're talking about even younger people, then it's even lower than that. But ultimately, even on the highest number that I can give you, annual household, it's still, you know, almost half of what he thought it was.
Bro.
And I don't think he's talking about household income. I don't think he knows what household income is. I think he probably thinks like one individual on average is making $100,000 a year.
30, 40K, bro. Are this nigga
What?
crazy?
Wait, it's really 40K?
Bro, that's what I say. Ain't it, bro? See, that's what I say. You come from two. When I ain't gonna say what you came.
You mean the money your house makes? Yes, household income is different than individual income. Individual income is what you make. Take home pay is also different, obviously. Take home pay would then mean like after taxes. But household income implies that there is usually two parents that are both working, like in most circumstances. Not that any of this matters. I just showed this to explain to you that he thinks like, you're hating so hard on Adin. Why not Celebrate Shimmers collabing with politics is a win and you're hating? I legitimately think Adin Ross's audience might be the stupidest on the planet. Like, I actually legitimately think that the people that are coming in here to be like, bro, I don't understand. Like, why are you hating? This is a W. Like, they unironically might be the dumbest people. Bro, I'm a political commentator. Like, this interaction, you don't agree, so you label and degrade. We get it. No, you don't get anything. I'm going to be honest with you. You barely get how you breathe oxygen, okay? I suspect you sometimes even forget that. Listen, the interaction between Donald Trump and Adin Ross, from where I'm standing, as a standalone for meta commentary, is unique and interesting in and of itself. Perhaps more unique and interesting than the actual talking points that Donald Trump demonstrates. Because I've heard the talking points a million times over. I've addressed it a million times over. It's his regular run-of-the-mill comments about how immigrants are coming in, they're stealing jobs, immigrants are coming in and doing crime. That's fine, right? All that stuff is nonsense. All that stuff is nonsense. But it's my job to look at this and offer not only commentary on the message that Donald Trump is trying to actively put forward to a young audience, right? What his intentions are with this collaboration, what this collaboration says about like what he thinks his campaign prospects look like for the upcoming election. This is what I do, right? I hope I can genuinely educate you on this matter a little bit, okay? It's intellectually dishonest to just hate on anything and anyone who doesn't agree with you, though. You do commentate sometimes, but mostly hate. Yeah, you're just upset and offended. But, you know, if you were to maybe listen to what I'm saying, then you'll understand why I'm saying those things. Like, also, who the sits around and goes, yeah, these people who hate me, I'm actually, you know, like I'm not going to do commentary on what they're doing. I'm actually going to glaze them. Like, what kind of is this? Like, I'm not simply sitting around and being like, Donald Trump is so ugly. I, for one, think he's hot, for the record. Okay? I'm not just like bashing for no reason. I'm explaining what a former president is most likely thinking and feeling, that he thought that this would be a good media op for him. Okay? Going on a kick streamer. And for those of you, and there are many old people in this community that tune in for the politics alone, do not know this person's background. So I have to offer them, as a media person who understands, I have to bridge the gap between people who don't know who the Adin Ross is and are just simply watching this and going like, who the f is this guy? I have to explain to them the background a little bit, okay? It's funny how you have to explain everything like you're talking to a 5-year-old. I mean, I think I am talking to a lot of people who are mentally a little bit stunted. You think this is a move of desperation? Yes, I do think that this is a desperate attempt from the Trump campaign for sure. But then again, in 2016, he did go on Alex Jones. So, like, I think it could either be a move of desperation or it could be that he likes to hit every avenue he possibly can. Do you know what I mean? Because remember, like I said, he went, when he was running for president in 2016, he went on Alex Jones's program. Okay? Like, I think he just doesn't, like, he'll do any media op, especially because he knows it'll be like a positive one. There's not going to be any contention here. There's not going to be like a debate. This is not going to be real journalism. Of course not, you know?
Now they just walk right in. Wow. They had catch and release. We had catch and release. It's you catch a criminal and you release him into our country. I said, no. We catch a criminal and we release him into Mexico. I think you feel better about that.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
You know, it's one of those things. There's so many things. They are so bad. It's like amateur night. It's either amateur night or they want to destroy our country.
Right. Do you what do you think about what's going on in Venezuela? The whole situation out there.
Well, I know it very well in Venezuela.
Before we get to the Venezuela thing, which the Kamala Harris campaign is using as a soundbite right now, I don't know if it's desperation or not, but like if you're asking what his angle is here, he has maxed out name recognition for virtually everyone, right? It's Donald Trump. He had a lot of name recognition coming into the 2016 election, but he was an unknown outside entity. So that played a big role in winning over moderates who were like, I don't like the way things are going. I don't like the institution. I don't like the establishment. I'm going to go for the anti-establishment vote. I'm going to give Trump a try. 2020 was different because it was coming off the heels of 4 years of Donald Trump being president. People didn't like the chaos. Now that mentality has stuck. But at this point, people know who Trump is. And also on top of that, they know what it was like and how they felt under a Trump presidency. Now, having said that, there are young voters who were entirely too young to remember what a Trump presidency looked like, or they were, again, too young to like make an adequate assessment over it or whatever. So maybe in his mind, his campaign thinks this is how we capture the youth vote. It was one of the things that he said in this interview was towards the end, where he literally said, I'm going to do everything. They want to ban TikTok. I'm going to do everything to save TikTok. Most young people don't remember, but the notion of banning TikTok did not come to fruition under this administration. It originally started with Donald Trump. Donald Trump literally talked about banning TikTok. Now he's talking about saving TikTok. And I think that he's doing that because someone in his campaign is telling him, like, this is how you can potentially get name recognition and like positive approvals in a new audience that does not have that did not pay close attention to your presidency because they were just too young, right? I think that's what it is. I think that's what they're hoping. Problem is, Bernie Sanders wasn't able to activate in a primary, which is different. Primary voters are going to be older in general. But like, there is no coherent and successful strategy of activating young voters. Young voters, the 18 to 35 demographic does not overwhelmingly vote. It's usually around, like, at the most is like 27%, 30%, right? So it's very, very difficult to get eligible voters from that age group, that age range, to go out and vote. I don't know if, last time it happened in serious margins that actually changed the outcome of an election was, well, not even the outcome of an election, but like greatly helped was, I would say, the Obama administration. And I don't know if Donald Trump, like, I don't think personally that Donald Trump is going to be able to activate the youth vote in a similar way to Barack Obama when a lot of his opinions are directly directly at odds with what young voters are looking for. And overall, turnout was quite high in 2020 and 2022 also. What was the voter turnout in 2022 for young vote? 2022 youth vote turnout. I think 2022 youth vote turnout was high. 2020 obviously is unique because 2020 had universal ballot, like mail-in ballots and universal registration. A lot of stuff happened during the pandemic that made it so that, like, obviously turnout was incredibly high. That's why Donald Trump got the most amount of votes that any Republicans ever gotten. And Joe Biden got the most amount of votes that anyone has ever gotten in American politics. So no, it wasn't fake voting. It was because people, it was because of ease of access to voting. That was the reason. But if you look at the youth vote in 2022, where is it? Youth voter turnout, second highest in the last 3 decades. Yeah, look at that, dude. 18 to 29, 27%. I was literally right on the dial. 27%. I gave you a number. I told you it was exactly that number. 27% of eligible voters between the ages of 18 and 29 ballot. So that is the second highest in midterm elections. If we're looking at the 2020 elections, which was different because of the maxed out voter turnout. I know explosions are happening in Iran. It's breaking. I'm not going to cover it yet. We will get more information and I will cover it. Okay. Half of the youth voted in 2020, an 11-point increase from 2016. Yeah, this was uniquely high. This was uniquely high because of ease of access to voting and COVID that made it so that there was ease of access in voting, which is the reason why the calculation was different. That's not going to work the same in a regular voting pattern where the Republicans have clamped down on, universal registration and mail-in ballots in general. Okay. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because, like, there's never been a super successful method. There's never been a super successful mechanism that has been able to, in the general election or in the primaries especially, that has been able to activate like a big chunk, a big margin. Yeah. Youth turnout in 2020, increase in youth turnout from 2016 to 2020. Sent absentee ballots, sent ballot applications, no excuse absentee voting, neither an excuse to vote absentee. On average, youth turnout was its highest and the largest increase over 2016 in states that automatically mailed ballot to voters. There you go. So Yellowstone is erupting. What? What is, guys, please stop. Anyway, so my point is, the youth doesn't really vote. And I think Donald Trump is trying to go after audiences that he hasn't been able to capture before. And I think that comes from the fact that he sees the writing on the wall. He sees Kamala Harris not only catching up, but now beating him in certain battleground states in the polls. because the calculation is very different now. Okay? The calculation is very different now this time around when he's going up against Kamala Harris, who is a more vibrant, more dynamic candidate than Joe Biden. Joe Biden had a lot of haters. There was a concept called the double haters as a consequence of Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Obviously, Trump haters are the reason that Donald Trump lost. 67% of Biden voters were not voting for Biden, but instead voting against Donald Trump. Okay? That is actually false, man. What's that? What's wrong with that? Lots of presidents have been going for the youth vote before. I didn't say there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying I didn't say there's anything wrong with that. I'm just simply saying that it's not like it hasn't been a successful strategy thus far. That's it. Put this in your docket for later. What is this? The Chiefs star kicker Harrison Butker have agreed to terms on a contract extension to make him the highest paid kicker. I don't care about this. So yeah, I don't. Fascinating. Biden leaving the race has had a negative impact on perceptions of Trump's health. An increasing percent of voters feel Trump isn't in good health, isn't mentally fit, and is too old to be president. Like, look at that. This is funny, though. Racist stayed the same. 58% said Trump was in good health in comparison to Biden. Now is at 52%. It went from 30 to 71, obviously, from Biden to Kamala. You were trending on Twitter at number 27. I don't know why that's relevant. And I know the Google thing as well. The Google antitrust thing. We'll do that as well. Anyway, let's get back to Donald Trump talking about Venezuela now.
Venezuela is right now being run by a dictator. We were enemies with Venezuela. Venezuela was going to collapse, and people could have gone back to Venezuela. They're in our country now. They've released tremendous numbers of criminals into our country. If you look at Caracas, it was known for being a very dangerous city, and now it's very safe. In fact, the next interview we'll do it in Caracas, Venezuela, because it's safer than many of our cities after they've released their criminals into all of our cities.
Yeah.
And I'm kidding.
I know.
The reason I have to say that, because the fake news media knows that too, but they'll say, he suggested they go to Venezuela. They are so bad, it's hard to believe. But anyway, so Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they've taken their criminal elements, which are large. It was a very dangerous place, especially Caracas and the different cities. And they've moved them into the United States of America. I know you're very happy. I know that your mother and father must be thrilled when they hear that.
Yeah.
Who happen to be here, I believe.
They are. They're right over there. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Are you thrilled with what they're doing? I don't think so. No. I don't think they're thrilled. I don't think so. So their crime rate is down 72%.
Right.
Because they're drug dealers, they're criminals, they're murderers, they're rapists. Everything's being moved into the United States.
One of the things that's like really interesting about him saying this is that, one, it's obviously not true. The idea that these Latin American countries are like dumping their prisoners into the United States of America is actually not true, but it is projection. It's true in the other direction. Fun fact, maybe not so fun fact, but we did that. We did that to El Salvador specifically. MS-13 is an American-born gang, is a Salvadoran gang that was born in the United States of America. The United States of America famously deported the MS-13 gang members to El Salvador without telling the El Salvadoran government that they were MS-13 gang members. So we did do that. The opposite of that has never really happened, though. That's not a real thing that happens at all, okay? You're trending because all those Adin Ross fans and engagement farmer account motherfuckers are tweeting about you. They're mad because you made fun of Adin on Twitter. Yeah, I know. People say that my audience is sensitive, but there's nothing more sensitive than a right-winger fan base. Like, they literally lose their minds. And also, who cares? It's Twitter. Twitter is like a right-wing shithole at this point. But yeah, they'll be like, how did you not say incredibly nice things about my daddy? So yeah, right-wingers are fucking absolute snowflakes. They're weird as fuck, and they're huge, massive snowflakes. Like, they cry so much. As far as prove that it's not true, okay, really, really simple proof for this. If they were all criminals that were coming over the border, okay, there would probably be an increase of crime. Obviously, criminals have the capacity to reoffend, I suspect, or they're being phenomenally rehabilitated when they cross over the United States border illegally. Why am I saying that? Well, because undocumented migrants actually do less crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens. There is no empirical evidence. There's no data to suggest the exact opposite of this, even though the only amount of the only data that you can actually find on the matter simply just comes from right-wing hysteria. They just lie about it. They say undocumented migrants are doing rapes and crimes and blah, 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 when in fact, the actual data itself is the exact opposite. You might not have ever heard about it because no one really tackles the issue with truth. And I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that like it's just readily available out there. But obviously someone going, source, I made it the fuck up in my mind, somehow is more sticky and more salient of a talking point, especially because it's attached to like really emotion invoking and really gruesome stories in general. Because this doesn't mean that like undocumented migrants don't do any crimes. Of course they do. Human beings will do crimes. That is just a constant phenomenon that occurs regardless of what their background is. But that's precisely the reason why you have to look at the data rather than look at the data rather than just like look at anecdotes. For example, Donald Trump regularly claims that hundreds of thousands of Americans have been murdered by undocumented migrants over the past year. The actual number, according to Customs and Border Patrol, which is not exactly a cucked or woke institution at all, right? The actual number of migrant apprehensions for crimes, for homicide specifically, in the year 2024 is, I believe, 23. 23. So what's really interesting about that is that the right wing genuinely just focuses on every single unique and individual act of crime that was caused by an undocumented migrant, and they basically fucking turn around and churn media off of it nonstop, and it makes you think like everyone's getting murdered by fucking migrants. Not 23,000, 23, like 2, 3, 0, 2, 3. Okay, I'm not saying 23,000. Donald Trump says hundreds of thousands of migrant murders are happening. Right? Where is it? For homicide, manslaughter, 23 in 2024. In the fiscal year 2023, it was 29. Okay? Now, this doesn't mean that these are like insignificant, right? This doesn't mean that like all those 23 lives are insignificant or anything like that. I'm not making that argument at all. But that's not how you look at data. That's not how you analyze policy. That is the reason why you would have to look at like when you are personally writing legislation, you have to look at the actual, impact. You have to look at the actual impact of the legislation. Like if your job, if your goal is to lower, that's really high. What the fuck do you mean? Dude, that is the saddest way to try and fucking bait me with a double bait at the top of the hour to serve a 3-minute ad break. Okay. As a 47-month subscriber, we have new guests in here. Okay. I know you're trying to do that. That's a 1 day for you. I was going to give you a week, but I'm going to give you a day off. We have too many new people that are trying to learn right now, and you're in here acting brand new. Okay. Yeah. Compared total homicide number is over 50,000 every year. I don't know if it's 50,000, but it's high, right? America's a big country. A lot of homicides happening. They make up a minuscule percentage. Undocumented migrants do. But if you listen to Republicans and you don't actually look at, if you listen to Republicans and you don't actually look at the data itself, you would be led astray. You would think that the reality is very different. Okay. 21,000 reported homicide cases in the U.S. in 2022. All right. Why don't the Dems counter message like you are? Because they're cowards and they're pussies and they're bad at their jobs. That's just it. And they're just too afraid. They get swept away by powerful anecdotes themselves, and they genuinely think that the right-wing propaganda, the right-wing propaganda is actually super successful. Day 100,000 of asking if HasanAbi is going to cover the UK programs. Why do you think I wouldn't cover that? Okay. Yes, I'm going to cover it. I'm going to cover the UK riots inevitably. Please, chat. Please shut the fuck up. Please. Okay. I'm going to get to your favorite story of the day. Don't worry. You're such a cocky fuck. Bro, shut up. What is going on? Bro, I'm a Twitch streamer. What is happening? My job is the yap, dude. You're so toxic. Don't talk to us like that. What? Don't talk to us like, okay, take a week off. All right. We gotta crack. We gotta crack the whip a little bit. We have a lot of new people in here. Some people that are returning. They're just like tensions are high. I think we just have to dial the heat back in the chat a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, also I forgot to run the ad break. I'm gonna run it now. Okay. When I'm talking to an individual that's like running their mouth in the chat in a very annoying way, that's not me talking to 50,000 people in here. That is actually so that the 50,000 people in here and what they're coming in here for is not disrupted by that one individual that's chirping in the chat. Let's continue. I don't know why that's so hard for people to comprehend sometimes. Let's get back to this. The last aspect of the Venezuelan conversation that I wanted to talk about specifically in regards to Donald Trump is that for people that don't know, Donald Trump greatly increased the pressure on Venezuela by adding additional sanctions to Venezuela, sanctions that actually crippled the Venezuelan economy. I've covered this extensively. Jeff Stein over at Washington Post actually did phenomenal work on this issue alone. If you guys want to go read up on that, we read through the entire data. Venezuela's economy in peacetime basically crumbled in front of our eyes in a way that was worse than like Yemen's wartime economy collapsing, right? In a way that's worse than like historically wartime economies collapsing. So overall, he destroyed the Venezuelan economy. And simultaneously, while destroying the Venezuelan economy with sanctions, the administration also kept the temporary protected status applications for Venezuelan migrants specifically because the Trump administration, much like Cuba, or the American government, much like Cuba, wanted to bring in like anti-government people into the United States of America, offer them citizenship, and then they could use that for political purposes later down the line, right? So a lot of the Venezuelans originally that were coming in were political adversaries of the Maduro government. They were right-wing, you know what I mean? They were like, oh yeah, fucking love America. Thank you for the TPS. I hate socialism. I hate Maduro, right? Not to say that Maduro is a socialist, obviously. If he is, not a very good one. But regardless, so those sanctions specifically increased the number of migrants that actually came into the country. And the American government was aware of it, okay? And this happened under Trump, by the way. Like, this greatly increased under Donald Trump. So a lot of the migrants that are still coming into the United States of America are actually escaping Venezuela due to the horrific conditions on the ground, Maduro's mismanagement of the economy, and also his authoritarian nature, for sure, as his power is waning over the Venezuelan population, plays a role in this as well. But a lot of the fucking people that are actually coming in as far as migrants are Venezuelan. So this is the Migration Policy Institute, but yeah, the number of Venezuelan immigrants in the United States has nearly tripled since 2010, coinciding with a period of severe economic and political crisis that has resulted in the largest prolonged displacement event in the Americas. The 545,000 Venezuelan immigrants in the United States as of 2021, the most recent year for which the U.S. Bureau American Community Service survey data is available, account for just a small share of the more than 7 million who have fled Venezuela since 2015. Okay? And if you look at it, in the 90s, it's 42,000, 2000s, 107,000, 2010, 184,000, 2021, from 2010 to 2021, this number skyrocketed to 545,000. So Donald Trump had a direct correlation, his actions and his sanctions specifically on Venezuela, paired up with the temporary protected status that Venezuelans were receiving on arrival, directly is the reason for why there are, so many Venezuelan migrants coming over the U.S. border. Now, I don't have an issue with this on principle. Okay, I don't care. I think that America is the wealthiest nation on the planet. And it is a massive country. We have a shit ton of wealth here, and that personally we have enough to legitimately document these people, process them, allow them to work in the United States of America. We are a nation built by migrants. Migrants are responsible for the reason why our We are not experiencing rapid population decline in the same way that like a country like Japan is exhibiting genuine issues in terms of having a much older population, right? So so I don't even have an issue with migrant populations coming into the United States of America. I think that our mishandling is responsible for any kind of shocks to the economy in terms of like our dealings with the migrant populations. But it is rather odd that he keeps talking about Venezuelans coming into the country or migrants coming into the country when they're coming to the country because you fucked over Venezuela. Like, what do you mean?
And soon they will have moved all of their criminals into the U.S. They won't have crime. So that's why I say we'll go to Venezuela for our next interview. Okay. It's a very serious problem. I mean, honestly, what they're doing to this country, they're destroying our country, Aiden. They're destroying stupid people. He's not a smart man. He wasn't smart 35 years ago. He wasn't smart 20 years ago. And now he's really not smart. No. And you saw that from the debate. I mean, he's really gone down the tubes. And she is, look, she couldn't even pass her law exam. She couldn't pass her bar exam. And I'm not saying that because I know other people didn't pass their bar exam, but she thought she'd never be able to pass it. And this is who we have running our country. It's a shame. She's ultra-left, ultra-radical. I just see where 99 vicious terrorists, when she was, I guess, Attorney General, because she was Attorney General of California, she destroyed California. Her policies have destroyed California. Her policies, when she was the district attorney, have destroyed San Francisco. San Francisco was the best city in our country 20 years ago, and now it's not even, frankly, it's not even livable. We have to bring our cities back. We're going to have to focus on bringing our cities back.
It's actually really sad. You know, I lived in California for a long time. Even Los Angeles, it's not safe. It's not safe. Everyone I know that lives in multi-million-dollar homes that do what I do, content, they're getting robbed. They're getting robbed. The police don't really they're not active out there as they are in some other states, and it's really sad. And I agree. I saw a video in San Francisco where people just walk into a Louis Vuitton and an Apple store and just loot, and leave like nothing ever happened. It's crazy.
They loot, and not only that, they have like $1,000 or $1,500, where she started, where she won't even prosecute if it's less than $1,500.
So this in and of itself is also another. This in and of itself is also another falsehood. But again, just like with the immigration panic, the crime panic is also completely fucking exaggerated. People will always say it's a problem, you're wrong, blah blah blah, like I don't believe you, it's happening all the time. Crime is a constant in cities. It is born out of economic inequality. If you want to tackle crime, you have to tackle the underlying reasons why crime happens. But as far as like retail crime goes, that was so unimaginably blown out of proportion. There's a term for it among retailers. It's called shrink. Okay. And the Walgreens CEO or CFO, sorry, openly admitted that they lied about the crime numbers leading to like the retail theft numbers leading to them closing up shop in San Francisco and whatnot. Obviously people saw the first post, but they didn't see the fucking correction years later, right? And crime across the board has consistently gone down. The one aspect of crime that was actually higher in the immediate post-COVID bump was homicides. That's also gone down, and it's actually adjusted back to like historic lows. Okay, so that's another thing that you have to consider. So overall, crime is going down in this country, but Republicans are regularly claiming, or were regularly claiming, they don't do it as much anymore, that crime is completely out of control. I said this at the time. I was right about it. A lot of people yelled at me back then, and they said, you're fucking wrong, and you're just like objectively lying. But I suspected at the time that the real reason why they were shutting down Walgreens locations was because brick and mortar retail is too expensive. They can't outcompete the big companies like Amazon. And this is something that I have consistently talked about. But it doesn't matter. Like, it's still a salient talking point in the minds of people that don't personally care about the truth and are just misguided by the media in general, not even recognizing that they're being misguided by the media, because mainstream media also What? I lost your app, but no hate at all. I genuinely think. What? What are you doing? He was trying to ask someone, but lost it. Oh, okay. Also, not only is the crime panic built around a falsehood, they also, like, voters didn't necessarily buy into it in 2020 as well. Okay, the crime panic narratives actually failed in the 2020 midterm elections. The trans panic narratives actually failed big time in the 2022 midterm elections as well. Ultimately, these like hyper focus on these issues negatively polarized people against the Republican Party, and ultimately led to Democrats actually losing ground in areas where they leaned into the crime shit. Okay, like New York specifically, but it caused Republicans to lose overall. It caused Republicans to lose overall elsewhere. Okay, so let's continue.
$100.
Wow.
So you see these people go in with like calculators, and they're adding the stuff that they're stealing because they won't be prosecuted. So that if they get nabbed, they say, no, it's less than whatever it is, $1,000.
Right.
And she started the concept of that, and it's now spreading. Our country, we need strong leadership. We didn't have stuff like this. You know, when you look at what's happened to this country, and you look at other countries, crime rates all over the world are down. You know why? Because they're all dumping their bad people, their prisoners, and all of the people that are bad. They're not only, I mean,
like, this doesn't make any sense when you look at the actual data, right? Because, like, crime across the board is down in the United States of America, right? Crime across the board is down in the United States of America. So if that is the case, then and migrants have increased, migrant populations have increased, then, like, they're not responsible for extra crime. They're responsible for crime going down. Now, obviously, that's not an argument that I'm going to be making at all, but, like, it doesn't even make sense. He's trying to say more migrants are coming in and they're all criminals, except crime is down. So how does that work?
I mean, not only the people on the streets, the people that are in jails. You know what they save by doing that? But they're dumping their prisoners, and they're dumping them into the United States of America. And our crime is going to go through the roof. It's going to go through the roof. And,
that's why he also plays fast and loose with the, that's why he plays fast and loose with the data as well, where he turns around and will say, like, well, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's like, because because it's not up.
If we win, and I hope we win, we should win. We seem to be winning, and, you can't even imagine that anybody would want these. This has nothing to do with me. Who would want these people? But can you imagine? They're just getting comfortable now, and they're criminals. So they're sort of laying low a little bit now because they're not comfortable. But soon they'll be comfortable, and they'll find that our police they're great.
Yeah.
But they're not allowed to do their job. They're not allowed to be strong, and they could do their job if they were let. But if they do their job, they have their pension knocked out. They have their car taken away, their family taken away, their house taken away. Everything's taken away, and they lose their job. It's a very rough thing being a policeman today, I'll tell you. But they could do the job. We're going to have to let them do their job. We have a crime-infested nation. I
also don't think that this is like a good, reliable, positive narrative to get people invested. In like, especially young people, to get invested into, like, voting.
We're a drug-addicted nation, and we're a crime-infested nation. Other than that, we're doing quite well.
Yeah. I want to move topics a little bit here. I saw, I'm unfamiliar with exactly what it was called. You were speaking on stage with 3 other women, and you just got ambushed. They were late, and not a hi, hello, how are you? Just straight into it, just straight trying to rip you apart. And I think you handled it pretty well, but I wanted to ask you a question, like, why do you think, like, they just straight up do that for you, but then they're going to ask the other side, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
That's right. Well, I did this as a favor. This was the black journalists. The room had maybe 2,000. They said 2,000. It looked more like 1,000 to me, but whatever it was packed.
Yeah.
And I did it because I thought it was a good thing to do. And they had a journalist, I didn't know who she was, but she was nasty. She was a terrible person. And I walk in, and instead of saying, hello, thank you very much for doing this, they also said, Kamala's going to do it. But then Kamala said, she wants to do it because she can't talk to people. She can't answer questions. She hasn't done one interview. She's not doing any interviews.
Yeah.
Because if she did one interview where a hard question's asked, she's incapable of answering it. But I walk in and this woman starts talking about
Kamala.
She talked about let's get rid of the elephant in the room, and she starts talking about racism and everything. I said, you didn't even say hello to me. And I'm doing them a favor by doing this. I'm doing this out of respect to the black community. And we're getting record numbers, as you know, in the black community. And she came across, you know, she's with ABC Fake News, which is one of the worst. ABC is one of the worst.
Right.
And she is horrible. So she was very nasty. Harris Faulkner was there. She was excellent. The other person I didn't know, she was okay. I wouldn't say she was great, but she was okay. But I did it, and it was quite a sensation. Actually, a lot of people think it was well handled. The woman was so rude.
So rude.
That, you know, it's hard to believe. You can walk into a thing, and I do them a favor, and I do this. Most people said, why are you doing it? I feel I have an obligation to do it. I want to look with it. You become the president for all of the people, not for a certain segment.
2024 national general election among age 18 and 29. Harris is 56%, up 30 points on Donald Trump, who's at 26%. The Zoomers are, Kennedy's at 11%. The Zoomers are all right. No, they're not. Also, what do you mean, fuck every RFK voter? Are you stupid? Dog, those are Trump voters that are voting for RFK. What do you mean? Hey, man, let him cook. If you're like a aggro Democratic Party loyalist, dick rider, whatever, okay, you should be excited. That's great. That's great for you. They're taking, he's eating at his base.
Correct.
Not even for just my, you know, they talk about my base, it's a very big base, but you become president for all of the people. So I feel you have an obligation to do that. Now, she's not doing anything. She's not doing any interviews because I don't believe she's capable. She starts, I don't know, she's strange. The whole thing is strange. Let's put it this way. Our country's in big trouble.
Yeah. I spoke to your son, Don Jr., when I met you in Doral.
Right.
I spoke to Don Jr. a little bit. He said, man, I feel for the young generation. You guys are, look at this. Like, look what's going on here. Like, it's like you need these next 4 years. If not, he's like, I don't know how well the country's going to do after these 4 years.
I don't think it survives.
Hold on.
I really don't.
Damn.
Look, we're going to have 20 million people in by the time this election takes place. 20 million people. That's bigger than New York State. Many of those people are people that you should not have, and we're all for everything. You know, all men are created equal, as the expression goes. Right?
Of course.
And now today they say all men and women are created equal. When
Yeah.
they wrote that, it was a slightly different time. Today, that alone is a politically incorrect statement.
Yeah, it is.
So all men and
It
women
is.
are created equal, everything. But the fact is, when you're dumping all of these criminals and all of these drug dealers, all of these people into our country, you're really hurting our country badly. And it has to be, we have to take very strong measures.
We definitely do. We definitely do. Moving to the next. Oh.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know they were allowed to applaud.
Yeah, they're allowed to applaud. You guys can keep applauding.
All right, that's common sense, right? You know, it is about common sense. I mentioned that term because whether you're conservative, liberal, it's all about common sense.
It is.
You want to have good education. You want to have borders. You want to have low interest rates, be able to buy a house. You want to, you know, so many different things. But you got to have common sense, and we're run by people.
So the common sense narrative, we've caught up. This is like literally all of the parts that I missed in my react. The common sense narrative is like a very, very solid, reliable narrative for the Republican Party, even though it's not correct. Obviously, it's pretty fucking ridiculous to claim that like the Republican Party is advocating for common sense or whatever. But having said all of that, it is the most salient narrative that the Republican Party has relied on for quite some time. The difference, however, is that like the greatest counter to that, the most effective counter to that has been to basically point to all of the moments where they just say like unhinged shit or hyper focus on unhinged shit. Like when they when they were like running around claiming that like a cis woman boxing another cis woman that was brolic was actually a trans woman and actually a man as a consequence of being a trans woman. Like when they were doing that shit, like that kind of stuff does not play super well to a broader audience. This audience is in the pocket, right? obviously you have your own personal base of support, and Trump certainly has a lot of diehard loyalists, whereas Democrats rarely ever have like the same level of diehard loyalty demonstrated to an individual usually, right? That's why when you see people at Trump rallies, when you see people at, when you see people that, visit or attend the RNC, and you see them respond super positively and super loudly to like, Trump talking about trans people in sports or whatever, that's not indicative of the broader electorate. The broader electorate cares about more money in their pockets, pocketbook issues, kitchen table issues, right? They give a shit about like the fucking potholes not being fixed. They give a shit about inflation. They give a shit about the economy. They give a shit about, how expensive it is to take care of their children, right? So ultimately, hyper focusing on this kind of stuff rather than how you're going to fix those other problems is going to unironically cut away at your base. Like your cultish supporters are locked in no matter what you say. They're locked in no matter what you say. Those guys that go to the fucking rallies, they're locked in. Doesn't matter. They love when Trump is like talking about trans people. They love when Trump is talking about like how every fucking immigrant is a rapist, drug dealer, murderer, or whatever. Okay? Have you been talking about this for 3 hours? Yes, I have been, as a matter of fact. This is the former president of the United States of America that's currently running for president again. So yeah, there's a lot of aspects of this that fit directly into what I usually talk about on a daily basis. Anyway.
And just a little thing, when I started campaigning almost like 8 years ago, I talked about Merry Christmas. We should have Merry Christmas again. Let's bring back Merry Christmas. You weren't allowed to say Merry Christmas. I got it back. Yeah.
It's a nice crowd, huh?
Even if you're Jewish, they like to say Merry Christmas. Every one of my Jewish friends say, we love Merry Christmas.
I'm Jewish. I love Merry Christmas.
Good. And Kamala doesn't, though.
She doesn't like it?
She doesn't want you to use Merry Christmas.
Wow, that's right. Like, that's true. It's like, who the fuck legitimately thinks that? Like, who actually legitimately thinks that? Like, that the Democrats have, like, that is just a base pick, okay? You're saying that specifically because you want to appeal to your base, like the weirdest segment of like evangelicals who legitimately think that like the Democrats want to do a war on Christmas, okay? That's it. Like, most people don't fucking think that that is a real thing because it's not a real thing. It's just made up. The fuck? The idea that like people are like taking Christmas away is so dumb. Everybody enjoys Christmas, man. I'm Muslim. I love Christmas. Christmas is dope. It's true though. They don't say it anymore. Oh my God. Oh. Fox News and right-wing commentary has caused irreparable harm to this country's brain. Okay? Like, our collective IQ points dropped so dramatically. Yeah, here it is. Wow, look at that. Look at that, dude. I guess she doesn't hate Christmas. It's just so stupid. And it's a talking point that has been around for so long. I mean, there is the famous there is the famous debate between Sam Cedar and like right-wingers on debating the war on Christmas from like fucking 20 years ago at this point. Anyway, we're not going to cover this 53-minute video from H Bomber Guy. The war on Christmas is a complete fabrication of the right.
Shopping on Amazon. This year's list was handily provided to Bill by the American Family Association. The AFA website. Is this okay? Should I post it? Looking for some kind of approval with an anxious look on his face. And it's a tweet petulantly quoting Storm. All isn't local hello.
Yeah, it's just so dumb. Yeah, I mean, I reacted to it, but it's from years ago.
Different religions, different ethnicities, and trying to be